So when looking at this matchup, you really have to look at a lot of things and break it down. And you really have to look at the disadvantages, the advantages, things that stick out. And today, I feel like looking at these two teams side by side, number one, Shai's the best player on the floor. He's the best player on both teams. Halliburton is, great, and he's a great player. He's probably the second best player on the floor combined for the two teams, but Shai's just the best. Shai's the best on the floor. He's going to be the one scoring 40 points a night, probably 30, 40 points. And I know a lot of people say that he is a flopper or whatnot. I believe something around that. But today isn't going to be a day of knocking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There's going to be another time in another video where I do break down Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's game and how I don't believe that it's MVP worthy, but that's a different conversation for a different day. I feel like when you're looking at the teams and you're looking at the players, Shai is the best player on the floor. Overall, he's a good defender, and on offense, he's practically unstoppable. He's untouchable because if you touch him, he goes to the free throw line. He can make tough shots. He plays a lot like Kobe Bryant does. People just don't see it, maybe because their shot forms don't look the same, maybe because Shai's style kind of mirrors AI's style a little bit with the swagger and the culture. But when you look at Shai, his game mirrors Jordan and Kobe, and he plays more of a finesse game. He's more of like, you can't really touch me because I'm going to draw a lot of fouls, but that's typically just doing a lot of things to get, taking advantage of the rules, trying to get the best out of the referees, getting a lot of calls. So, you could sit up here and say that, you can't really fault him for that because you can't. They all do it. He's just the best at it. And so, which means he gets to the free throw line a lot. He makes majority of his free throws. He's a great scorer. He could do everything on the floor. He's the best player on the floor. Indiana doesn't have that. That's an advantage for the Thunder. Now, when you look at home court advantage is also a huge, huge factor. Home court, obviously, Thunder are the 1 seed. Pacers are the 4th seed. So, obviously, the Thunder get the home court advantage. Typically, players and teams play better at home versus away. But in this series, I think all of that goes out the window, to be quite honest with you. The only way I really think that home court plays a big factor is if it goes to 7 games and it's, the Thunder get home court, which I'd probably give the edge to the Thunder in a Game 7 only because they get home court advantage. So that's a little bit of a factor. I don't know if I would say it's the biggest factor, but it's one of them for sure. So when you look at both teams, they do have a big 3. Now, I don't know if I would give the Thunder the edge on this one, only because of their inexperience and their age. I would feel like the Pacers have a better big 3, talking about overall experience and veteran-type basketball play. They make veteran decisions and mistakes. They haven't been in the league for long enough, so to me, when you look at the Thunder, Shai, J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren, although they're all great, I feel like on paper and watching them, I do feel like the Pacers have a better big 3 with Halliburton, Siakam, and Miles Turner. But that's only when they're all on their A game. Like I said before, the Pacers are very hot and cold, and they get on hot streaks. But when they're on their hot streak, I think that big 3 is better than the consistent Thunder team. But the Thunder are so consistent and so good night in and night out all the time with only a handful of games where you can nitpick and say, well, they didn't play good. They didn't play great. They didn't play that good, That, I feel like, is better overall, but I just don't see the experience with that. So for me, I would just have to point to the Thunder and say that that's not really a big 3 that I would pick over the Pacers' big 3. So that's just me looking at that comparison of big 3 versus other big 3. And when you look at the Pacers have a deep team. Their team is stacked with shooters, and that's another big factor. They're the leading 3-point shooting team in the entire playoffs this year. So the Pacers do have an advantage in the three-point shooting category, as well as I would just say shooting in general. Okay? When you look at three-point shooting, the most consistent players that can shoot threes on the team, you got Halliburton, Naismith, who was the savior of Game 1 of the New York Knicks and Pacers series. He was their savior. He made three after three after three and did not care. He was ice cold. He was a killer. He was their closer, and that's what the Pacers needed when they weren't at their best. And this is what I mean by role playing. You have people who can defend like Naismith, and you have a player like Naismith who can shoot threes when your stars aren't doing it, when Turner's not having his best game or he's fouled out, or when Halliburton's not hitting his threes or he's not doing that well, or when Siakam isn't putting up enough points. Naismith and a player like Mathurin are going to come out there and dominate and give you all the threes that they can give you because they can shoot the ball. And I've seen it in the last series. Mathurin not so much as Naismith, but he can shoot the three, especially in the corner. He made really big clutch threes in the corner, Mathurin did, and Naismith made great threes around the perimeter and shot them game after game. So to me, the Pacers have an advantage in the shooting category, and although the Thunder are a great scoring team, 2 isn't greater than 3. And when you look at three-point shooting, the Pacers dominate on all cylinders. Honestly, this is going to be a 7-game series. And just looking at it, just a quick glance, I would say Thunder in 7. I would say that the Thunder are going to dominate because of their consistency and their lack of having bad games, because they don't have bad games, okay? They lack losing. It's pretty funny to say because that's how good they were this season. Okay, they didn't lose much. They didn't have a lot of room to have, to have growth. Okay, they grew from last season, but this season they've really just been, through thick and thin. Not really too much thick. It's all been thin. They've been going through barely anything. They had an easy schedule, but even when they played tough opponents, they did them dirty because they were already good. The system is great. They're well coached, top to bottom. I feel like the Thunder are a better team. I think the Thunder have a better chance of winning. They have home court advantage. And in a 7-game series, that's what I think it'll come down to. I'm going to have to say Thunder in 7 for this series. As much as I don't want them to win, I really do feel like the Thunder will win this. Although I don't like the Pacers either, because remember, I made a video, my last video was talking about how the Pacers and Thunder are going to be the worst finals in the past decade, and I still stand by that statement. I don't feel like that's a bad statement to make because I was only speaking upon TV ratings and the revenue that the series is going to make for the NBA. I was not going into depth of, is this the best team? Obviously, the best 2 teams are going to be in the finals majority of the time. And these were the 2 best teams. They played the best, they dominated the best, and they deserve to be where they're at. So it's not that. It's simply based upon TV ratings. And that's what I was going off of. Tickets sold, TV ratings, money made for the NBA, and I don't think the NBA is going to do that well this series with this NBA Finals. I don't think it's going to be as good as it was the past few years, in the past decade. But overall, I would like to see Halliburton and the Pacers win over the Thunder. That's my personal opinion. So if you're going to ask me who I'm rooting for, I'm rooting for the Pacers, and it's not even close. I don't want to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander win. I can't come up here and lie and say that I think the Thunder are going to lose. Okay, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to win in 7 games. I think they're a better, consistent basketball team. Like I've said countless times in this video, I don't believe the Pacers are going to have that many hot streaks and going to have that many big games to win in 7 games. I don't think they'll win 4 games this series. I just don't see it happening. Thunder in 7. At home, do the Pacers dirty, close out the series. They win by like 30 points or something like that, maybe 20, but I say it's a shutout in Game 7. I think they dominate the last game. But with that being said, Thunder in 7, Good luck to both teams. I'll be keeping y'all updated on YouTube Shorts. I'm out.